Welcome to the Hack Takeover today on 107 FM. I'm joined here by Sam and Paul, and this is where tomorrow's world is already here, and we're going to be discussing and lifting a lid on how tech's reshaping how we live, work and play. So I want everyone to sort of put the phones down, get present with us, because we're going to unpack the different algorithms shaping every scroll and asking, what is it actually really taking away. So for the next hour, it's time to have some fun, challenge our thinking. You can also connect with us on Hulls 107 FM, on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram at Hulls 107 FM, or you can drop us an email into studio at hulls107fm.co.uk. So Sam, Paul, welcome. We're going video this time. What's happening? What we're doing?
Smart, doesn't it?
Yeah, we're actually recording in your new studio out with Leon. So we've got a bit of a new setup of trial in here, and we're hopefully going to reach a bit of a bigger audience and see a few more people, I guess, face to face on screens. Ironically, yeah.
Paul, it's been a while since we've been back.
Certainly have. It's good setup. It's done well. It's took months and years since we started off the first podcast. So. Yeah, great setup.
Yeah, because I guess
forward to it.
Like background on this, like, do you want to walk through, like, I guess how we've got here with the history of
the podcast?
Yeah, because obviously we're a radio show now, but it originally started as a podcast, didn't it?
Yeah, so it started. So Paul, we've got the little pig behind you, haven't we? We can see it there.
Yep.
Should we bring the pig on? And it all started where Paul bought me. Paul bought me a book, didn't you, Paul?
Yeah, but I bought you a book because I'd read it. Called the Pig Wrestling, and it's where you sort your problems out and you look from the outside looking in, and I thought it was a fantastic book, so I bought you it so you could take it away on holiday.
I remember I was in Mexico at the time.
Yeah, and you rang me.
Me and the wife had renewed our vows. I think it's nearly 7 years ago that we did it, and I said, wow, what a book. And it was about how you framed your problems. You didn't want to get in the pig pen with a pig. You don't want to wrestle a pig. But I think, the big thing I'm really proud of that what we're doing now is we're supporting 107 FM, community-based radio, and one of the only lasting sort of surviving community-based radios. Not many of them going. I think Pete Mills is doing a fantastic job down there, and
Brilliant
we said, he asked us if we could take our hack show on the airwaves, which we're doing, but then Sam, you wanted to do something a bit better and bring video, didn't you?
Yeah, I mean, I've just been a guest on your podcast previously, but you've invited me in to, I guess, explore.
Be a co-anchor now.
Yeah, co-anchor, and and
co-anchor.
then bring a little bit of video tech in as well to try and take us online. So again, like I was saying earlier, we can reach bigger audiences. And then I guess the theme of this show, like many of you might have heard on previous shows, is we're talking all about tech, AI, and how it's affecting our everyday life, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly that. So I think this sort of fair sort of segment then. You've been doing a bit of research. What we've set Sam off doing is doing a bit of research and just throw it out to the field, because how is, we're sort of saying, are we in an AI bubble at the moment, is what you're saying this month.
Yeah, a lot of what I'm hearing is this kind of like this buzzword of AI bubble. Are we investing too much into it? So there's 3 segments I want to talk about today. First one being, are we in an AI bubble? So the world's biggest tech companies are spending tens of billions on artificial intelligence, building data centers, buying these big chips, these big memory boards, and locking in power, and the profits arrive from that. So supporters say it's a once-in-a-generation infrastructure. They're saying it's huge. Critics say it looks worryingly like a bubble, like, are we investing too much into it? So we just want to, I guess from our perspectives, and I guess mainly yours really, Leon, with the background you have, but what's your take on this buzzword of AI bubble? I mean, obviously it's here to stay and it's the future, but are we investing too much into it?
I think, let's just roll back. Do you remember we had the .com bubble?
Yeah.
Do you remember that? And if you think about it, everything's going to be a website, and
was the buzzword then as well? The .com bubble.
Yeah, yeah. And the bubble did actually burst, because when the bubble burst, what I want people to start thinking about when we start talking about bubbles, it's when we start over-promising and under-delivering value.
And it pops and the support and structure kind of collapses.
Yeah, and when we had the .com bubble, you think about it, everything's going to be a website, and everyone was fighting over domain names, weren't they?
Yeah.
And it never transpired like that, because actually, when you think about the .com bubble, we needed the tech for these on these websites or these web applications to work, didn't we? Yeah. Whereas what excites me is, I don't think we are in a bubble. I think we're in a place now where we can leverage and build technology instantly. The work I'm doing with the university, the work I do over with ThinkCloud, well, it's gone from teaching people over a 2-day period how to prompt to building what we call an agent. And for people listening and don't know what an agent is, what we talk about in the AI space is, think of it as humans. We've all got agency to make decisions.
Yep.
So look at us right now. You two are stood there nodding to me. I'm transmitting some information to the cameras. We're streaming, and people are listening to it, take that information, and we've got agency to have a listen to what I'm saying, and also give feedback. Is that fair?
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
Whereas these AI agents give us agency to do even more. And I'm going to throw it all the way back, because I don't believe we're in a bubble, because I don't think we're even 5%, 1% there at the minute. And what I mean by that is, I think we've got a real big problem in that it's a mindset problem, because leaders need to be thinking about, because we're talking about it from a business setting in some senses, right? Let's talk about it there for a second. Leaders need to shift the mindset, the way we work. And what I mean by that is, you've all heard of Chinese whispers.
Yeah.
The way information is passed,
yeah.
Right? Now, have you played that game, and have you ever done it in a business setting where it goes all down the line, and what was said at the beginning, Paul?
It's totally different at the end.
Right.
Yeah.
So I actually think what we've got, where people are talking about a bubble and it's not going to transpire, and not going to get the value, is I think we're talking about larger organisations, right? And what I mean by that is they've got really big processes. So Sam, you'll know, you're a small business, we're a small business, Paul, you're a small business, but we work with some global players, don't we?
Yeah, massive.
Look at it. What's it like getting paid by some of these global players? Just talk to me about that.
Can be the trickiest, can't it?
Can be a nightmare. Some of the biggest companies out there, global companies, are the worst to get paid by, because it's so global. And if you want to talk to somebody about payment, it's at the other side of the well.
There's lots of people you got to get through to be able to kind of speak to that person.
And let me help. People who don't understand business, let's bring it to their. They have a process.
Yeah, they have a
and
process.
Let's talk about a simple process in terms of our businesses. Our businesses, the process is quite simple, quite straightforward. In that, you want to get paid, you ring me, send me an invoice, and I pay you. I can go on the bank, right? Now, our business has grown. We've got now an accounts team, so we have to do PO, purchase
That
order.
doesn't work for you. I'll send an invoice to you. You then have to
pay it. But now,
forward it on to someone else.
Yeah, but you've seen it in our own business, Sam, in the last couple of years. We've changed our own processes where you now need to put a purchase order.
Yeah.
And it's an order just as a commitment to pay. So what I'm getting at here is...
I was going to say, where's the thread on this?
Yeah, where my thread on this is, businesses start bringing processes in for protection and governance, and it starts getting quite convoluted. And what I will mean by that, let's just use one of your example, is it more difficult for you to get paid from us now from when we first started working together?
Potentially, in that, there's a couple more clicks and emails and people to speak to go through that process,
Right, so you imagine when you got 10,000 people in your business.
Yeah.
Right? So, and what I'm getting at this is, I think the challenge around the AI bubble is processes need to change.
Yeah.
We can't just automate processes if the information flow doesn't flow properly. Is that making sense?
Yeah, because I think even people within those businesses where you want to get paid, they get frustrated because sometimes they don't know their own process.
So I can see where you're going with, I guess, processes, and that's why, I guess, the confusion and when you're saying Chinese whispers, the dialogue around all AI and the word bubble kind of, we're not really kind of identifying, explain a bubble. But I want to throw one other thing back at why it potentially might be a bubble, is that the demand on these AI data centers is, I think one AI data center can power the equivalent of 100,000 plus homes. 3 to 4% of the UK's electricity is already being used to power data centers, and we've barely got them up and running yet. And also, training large AI models can emit thousands of tons of CO2. So maybe is the bubble one of people thinking, well, we've got the potential to do all this, but where's the energy coming from? We've already got an energy issue.
Yeah, I think...
Is that maybe why the bubble is being described?
I think there's multiple strands in this, Sam, because I think... I work for if I got £1 for every time someone rang me and said, can you come in and build as an agent, that automates everything we do. I'd be a very, very rich man, right? And what I mean by that is this artificial intelligence is really good at certain things, but you've got to all understand what the process is yourself. Everyone's got to be on the same page. So let's just look at it for the average listener who's maybe not into tech. How are you guys using AI in your day-to-day life at the moment?
I think for me, like, we used to use a term, I'll just Google it. Now I'll just chat GPT, I'll just Gemini it, I'll use an AI model for it. So, and the information you're getting from that is so much quicker. So even just finding out, we were researching a holiday last night. And we wanted to know how far it was from the airport to the resort. You'd kind of used to Google it or go on maps and put in a pin in one place, put in a pin in the other, see where the distance was. Now it was ChatGPT. Here's the airport. Here's the resort. How far? It told me the local transport, how many miles it was, how long it would take at certain times. It gave me so much information, but it just sped up that process.
So the value back to you on that particular thing, did that make you more productive and save you time and give you a better experience and a better outcome?
Both, yeah. It was a quicker response, but it also gave me probably more information than I needed to actually make that decision that, yep, I'm going to go with this place.
Right.
Myself, I've never been, should we say, the best writer of articles and reports, but I know what I want to put in those articles and reports. So I can use AI to put all the information that I want to say, ask it, read it back afterwards, because it articulates it a lot better than I could have done. But I still might have to go into it several times and make it me. But it gets a...
You got to collaborate with it.
I've got to collaborate with it. Yeah, I work with it.
Yeah.
But I've got to put all the information in at the start.
Yeah. So like myself, I use it for calendar bookings.
Yeah.
And I've got a set system. I had a really interesting conversation with a guy yesterday. I was looking to do some work, and he was asking me about some key dates. I can't give you that decision because my calendar's a bit of a mess, right? And he was like, well, you're in AI, haven't you got an AI agent that does that? I said, well, actually, yes, I have. But I work with another organisation that doesn't have AI, and multiple people are manually trying to book my calendar for multiple different things, and I'm getting double booked, right? So in one sense, I've got AI in one side of, an area and some areas I'm working in. It's really simple because the AI sorts it out. There's people booking meetings in with me. It just works. And then at the moment, I've got a team of humans trying to do that, and it feels like I've gone back 10, 15 years, and multiple cameras, and that's just because people are just doing what they think's right and not realising, because they've got shared calendars internally, that internal organisation can't see that the multiple booking. So
I found a problem with my calendar this week, what I need to improve on, and it's done through AI. You've got it on your website, Calendly. That does it AI, am I right?
Yeah, it does, yeah.
Yeah. So,
and there is, just so we're clear, Paul, there is other products out there as well.
Loads more other products, yeah. So I didn't put travel in my calendar from A to B. A customer booked in a 15-minute call
while you were driving?
While I was driving. So I had to pull up in a car park, and I've got my laptop out having a meeting. It's something now I need to make sure that I put in through it, because it automatically books it in my calendar, where before I wouldn't.
Yeah, I mean, our next talking point in this show is going to be like how we use tech in work and how we're using it to speed up. So I think there's some really good points there. But I think just getting back, just to kind of like wrap it up on the this talking point of this AI bubble. Some things you were saying earlier made me think that perhaps the bubble is that we're not investing enough or spending enough, making sure that the AI is going to be reliable and the infrastructure is there in the future. Maybe it is a risk almost that we might need to make sure that a ridiculous amount of investment and manufacturing goes into making these data centers so that the AI bubble is stronger, so it doesn't burst. Because if we don't invest enough, it's the capabilities aren't going to be utilised enough.
Well, I've got a huge challenge on that, and I think we'll pick it up after this sort of next song, because I think the investment is a people and an education piece.
Yeah.
We've got free technology that's just burning through electricity. Why have we got that free technology? What's the purpose of it? And I think there's a huge, bigger conversation I want to pick up, because we'll be straight back after Satisfaction Skank by Fatboy Slim and the Rolling Stones. So love this one, don't you?
Yeah, I love it.
Absolutely love this one. What a record. What a record.
Love that.
But if you listen to this on our Spotify, or if you watch it on YouTube or one of the social media channels, you won't have heard that song, because we can't put the music on for rights. But that was Satisfaction by Fatboy Slim and the Rolling Stones, Satisfaction Skank. So let's get back into this. So where we're going with this, Sam? So we were talking about AI. Is it a bubble? That's where we sort of got to. So anyone just sort of tuning in now, is it a bubble? Is it a bubble? And I said I had an opinion on that around, you were saying about technology using too much electricity, all of them sort of things. where are you going to take it now, Sam?
Well, yeah, I mean, Paul started talking about, I guess he was talking about like calendar and how we use it for work. And I want a little, this next segment's really just going to kind of explore how we're using it for work, but how other people may be listening, maybe we can give them some little tips and tricks, how to speed up everyday life at work if you've got anything, you know, a job that involves tech of any level. So artificial intelligence it's not coming to the workplace, it's already here. So it's writing emails, analysing CVs, tracking productivity. In some cases, it's deciding who, unfortunately, gets hired or fired. So companies say it boosts efficiency, and workers worry it boosts surveillance and replaces jobs, which is obviously a bit of a talking point at the moment. But I want to be a bit more positive. We've had episodes before where we've talked about, you know, can AI replace jobs, and some of the, I think it was IBM, we're getting rid of like 4,000, 6,000 jobs, something like that. Let's be a bit more positive today. How can we use AI to make us more productive and more attractable to keep employed rather than replace?
I think it's really simple. I think there's loads of scaremongering. So there's been some new standards released in January for AI products being used in education. I shared these with you the other day.
Yeah.
And when you look at them sort of standards, it starts talking about these risks around, especially children using AI. They try and stop the products saying, relating to maybe I, or because sometimes AI can come across as if it's a person, can't it? Mm-hmm. And that can have psychological effects because young children are wanting to AI everything. They're getting an emotional attachment to the product. They actually think it's real. Yeah. And when you just sort of stop and think about that, as much as it's scary, it's something we have to factor in, because you got to think a lot of children nowadays, well, nearly all the children, especially my kids, all of the comms is digital. So they're used to having digital relationships. And all of a sudden we've got these AIs that actually talk in sort of first person. I would do this, you should do that. And you know, they're building these relationships. It is a challenge. But when you go a little bit deeper on that, there's sort of one method where they're sort of saying, unless these tools meet these standards, you can't use them in the classroom. And I've got a bit of a challenge on this. And, you know, history leaves clues. History leaves clues, right? When the comic book first came out, right, they were saying it was going to corrupt kids' minds.
Yeah.
Do you remember?
Yep.
Right. And I think the challenge we've got, like just with technology, I think we've got to embrace it and start using it for good, because let's just go on the new standards that are coming out. If this technology doesn't meet these standards, there's going to be a lot of people from a governance point of view, I think, are going to put the brakes on and say, we can't use this technology in our classrooms. Yep. And I'm really nervous about that, because that's going to be like the equivalent of saying, right, when you go to school, you can only read these books.
Yeah.
Librarians are going to police it. The kids on the dinner time, on lunch breaks, they're going to go read the Beano. Yeah. They're going to go use these magazines and things. So I'm going to keep hitting it back with, it's an education problem.
Yeah.
Right. So is it a bubble?
Like how to use it properly.
How to use it properly.
So you still want to educate people and have them understand why the AI is, well, it's got to know what the AI is talking about. So you still need to be educated, but it's how you use it in everyday life without, for way of putting it, without being lazy.
Yeah, and I think let's wrap it up as well. When we start talking about this bubble, Sam, because AI is such a huge topic, what I want people and listeners to understand is, where I do see it being a bubble, there's lots of products out there that are saying they're AI, but all they are is a wrapper or a front end for using a model. And when I say model, the model is like the technology that like's under the hood. So the best analogy I'll always give what people, I've said it time and time again on the show, McLaren F1, who makes the engine in McLaren F1?
Yeah, like Mercedes.
Yeah, Mercedes. I think it's actually BMW. I think one of them is either BMW or Mercedes. I get
two
it
or
wrong,
three
right?
engine makes between the whole grid.
And I think it's Aston Martin again, right? But
so.
the point I'm making, the manufacturer of the engine in Aston Martin, the manufacturer of an engine in a McLaren car, is not actually the company that produced the car, right? So there's loads of products out there that are just a wrapper for other engines.
Yeah.
So, for example, the big ones that we all talk about is ChatGPT. Everyone knows about ChatGPT. Another one is Gemini. In a business setting, we're hearing about things called Copilot. But Copilot is not an AI. It's a vehicle like a McLaren F1, like an Aston Martin, that can use multiple different engines depending on the destination where you want to go, right? Okay. So I think just that little piece of education I've just shared with you guys there, people don't know it. People don't know about that thing. So what products do you go to? What do you use? What does good look like? So there's a huge education piece on that, because you're in videography and graphic design and all images, right? You're in education.
Yep.
in your day-to-day life, you've got an AI avatar of you that produces learning materials for your marketplace that you edit and produce, and you don't even need you in a studio.
No.
Walk me through that.
Well, that education piece is, I can get that to multiple organisations and multiple people without me being there, but it still gets the message that I want across.
And just like, I think for listeners as well, just explain what we're talking about here, because we've basically created a digital twin of you.
Yes.
That has your learning material that we have trained that
model,
I guess, so that we can create material on our behalf. Not material, but it's using the material you've got, but we can create videos of you, like training videos, without it actually being you and using your time. So it's speeding you up, and it's speeding us up.
And it's like my authentic self.
Yeah.
Right, and it delivers it like me.
But we've created models where it's creating the training material.
Yeah.
But where I see this as being like a massive gain, right? So you might go, well, let's look at the benefits of that. In one time, it's saving you time. You don't have to go into a camera studio. From a creative side, right, a lot of people say that kills creativity. Right, you get full creative control of the looks of them different models that you've put in there. And if something doesn't come out on camera right first time, what can you do?
Yeah, well, we can amend them. We don't have to kind of go back to the studio. But the creativity side of things, you could argue that the filming side of things, there's less creativity involved with that. But in the editing room, there's arguably a little bit more creativity because we can manipulate factors afterwards that we have to kind of get right the first time. So, I guess it's not stifling our creativity. It's just it's giving us time to be more creative, really.
And that is exactly where I was hoping you was going to go down that route. And then let's unpick that a bit further. Before you having access to artificial intelligence and AI, how many languages, do the different organisations speak? Would you reckon? You might not even know that, but you work with global players, don't you?
So the global companies that I work with at the minute, for the information I get back, I've done 23 different countries, but I think if we can cover 8 languages, it covers most of them 23 countries that we
in their first language.
In their first language, yeah.
Or second
language.
Because some of them are in multi-language.
Yeah, so a lot of people around the globe can speak English and understand English, but if we can cover
in the main languages like Mandarin,
yeah,
Spanish, French.
Yeah, so we created an avatar of me in Mandarin, right?
I remember.
And we sent it away to get tested because we wanted it to be authentic. And
we don't speak Mandarin. We don't
speak Mandarin. No, it was absolutely perfect. That's what I got back.
So the point you're making here is, which leads back to my first question, which is how are we using tech in our lives to speed up and make us more efficient? Beforehand, you could only speak your native tongue, English.
English, yeah.
And that's the only way you could train people around the world. Now we're able to take your English-speaking avatar, which has been trained on the scripts that you've developed, and have it so that your voice and your avatar is speaking Mandarin, Arabic.
Yeah, because in the industry that I'm in, you've got multicultural diversity, into companies, and some people aren't getting the training that they require because English is not their first language.
But then we are having challenges with that because not every English word translates naturally into languages.
No, so we're having. That's why we send it away for testing.
But also, there's a layer there of, ironically, AI can help understand that as well. So beforehand, we might have a translator where we can use AI to help translate it, and we can use AI to vet it. So we're getting it 95% there.
Yep.
For the 5% human, okay, I'm just checking it off before. We're not just relying 100% on AI to be sent out. It's still got that human touch and the human kind of analysis of it to make sure that it's correct.
But then let's roll this back. So the average person, maybe listening to this thing, well, I don't need an avatar of me. And
people don't need to speak Mandarin to every day.
I'll give you another example how I'm using it. We've got the new studio set up, haven't we?
Yep.
And I'm trying to do more YouTube content, and we're trying to make it, more content coming out.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure. I'm a carpenter by trade back in the day, right? So I'm looking at the wall.
You've made a good choice of the wall. Yeah, you've done a good job.
But what I did was, I asked the AI to give me different scenarios of how it would dress the room and dress that back wall, all done by AI. To put a picture in, asked it where to lay it all out. It's done it all perfect.
So people can do that when they're renovating the homes.
Yeah. And all I did was, I took my different camera angles. I'm going to put it in, and I said, where could you position everything? So I've got multiple camera angles for content, and it came out with a full plan what to do. And I was like, wow, just amazing. So there's loads of different ways we can use it personally, and I think the bit what excites me, what I always come back to around this bubble, I don't believe we've even scratched the surface of what this tech can do for us. Any other ways you guys are using it?
Go on, Paul.
I think, I always talk about 70-30 principle, which 70% of my job I absolutely love. But there's 30% that I procrastinate and I put off because I don't like doing it. So I can either delegate that or I can get AI to do that for me, right? And I think I touched on earlier some reports that I need to do, some emails that I need to do, some forms that I need to create, right? I know all the content that I want in them, but it's made it so quick for me, and it's them 30% that I don't like doing, I don't mind doing anymore because I've got a process through AI that can help me with that, and that's made it quick for me.
I was going to say exactly the same thing. For me, I'm a videographer. I like having a camera in my hand and filming. But running a business like this, there's a lot of tasks which aren't attractive to do. And I'd probably say 30%, some days more. But typically I could go out and do a shoot day. I've been filming all day, and I've not been able to look at my emails. But there has been people getting in touch. I've got an AI tool at the moment. There's plenty out there. What I'm using at the moment, it's great. Like it analyzes my emails. It looks at every email I've historically had and sent to people. It knows my tone of language. It knows kind of everything about me. Again, some people might not like that, but I'm kind of embracing it within reason as well with kind of what data I'm putting in there. But at the end of the day, I could open my emails and I've got maybe 20, 30 emails that all have drafts waiting to go. I'd say 90% of those drafts, how many times you get an email, we just need to kind of politely acknowledge that you've had it, give them maybe a date and time when you're available to speak to them next and send. It knows my calendar. It knows when I'm free. If someone asks for a meeting with me, it'll just draft an email that just says, yep, I'm free at this time. Do you want me to book it in? And if I say yes, it books in the meeting in my calendar. It's taken away like maybe 90% of the clicks and typing that I have to do, which saves me probably an hour or two a day.
Probably it takes
Sometimes
away you forgetting it. You could read that email and forget about it.
What, as well,
so it takes that away.
When people get in touch and you just get, okay, I've got that, onto the next one. Because it's got the draft there, I'm always replying. So even just a polite acknowledgement of an email now, which it's making me look better, but I'm at it for zero amount of effort, which my time's kind of precious with admin, so it's just speeding me up.
Yeah, but ultimately, it's making you more productive. Yeah. So we're gonna continue unpicking this.
Yeah, next bit is more like when I talk about phones, teens and addiction to phones. So.
Well, we're gonna do that one in a bit, but I also want to pick up a prompt that anyone in business can be using. It's a game changer. Can you use it personally? And we'll come back after this. Well, we're back again. What a record! What a record that one. So, final part sort of section really, but I wanted to sort of finish off where I was going because we was talking about using it in emails, weren't you?
Using AI in everyday life and speeding you up.
I got a new game changer for you boys.
Go on then.
So obviously I'm a Copilot fanboy, aren't I?
Yeah.
You're a Gemini fanboy at the minute, right? And all AIs are equal. Let's see, you know what I mean? But I've started driving into work and I've got what's called a schedule prompt. And I'll just sort of read it word for word so people can understand this prompt. You can schedule prompts to run automatically now in the background. Set time, set days. And when that prompt runs, it means that when you speak to AI, it's already done some work for you. So I have a prompt which says, summarise all my emails from the past 7 days that I have not yet responded to. For each email, number 1, provide a concise summary, maximum 3 sentences. Number 2, rate the importance from 1 to 5, and also urgency from 1 to 5. And thirdly, classify the emails into what I call the Eisenhower matrix. So do first, urgent, important. Schedule, it's important but not urgent still right now. Delegate, not urgent, is anything, can I pass it on to anyone else? Or the fourth one is eliminate, it's not important at all. Yeah, spam or whatever. And then suggest a prioritised action plan to follow up on. And then finally, if the email falls into do first or as an importance, draft me an initial reply that is professional and concise, right? So, game changer this, lads, right? So I get a little Teams notification in the morning. It's already done that. And any of them emails that are important are already sat in my drafts. Right, but take it a step further. Getting words to behave, whether it be on paper or digital paper, is not my strong point anyway. Right, so I've got Michelle who helps me, she's a PA. she will help on some of my emails and go in and just tidy them messages up to make them a bit more, readable, not AI generated. But what I've started to do when we're driving to work now, when we drive home from work, is have my AI on my phone system, talk to it and say, can you go through my emails, and using that similar prompt, it's already there, and it'll just discuss with me back and forth. So when I'm coming into the office in the morning, on my drive in, I've got a personal assistant who's briefing me on my emails, what's been responded to, my calendar. It's been an absolute game changer, just being able to speak to an AI on my driving and then on my drive home. What do you think, Sam, as I'm saying that?
I like it, yeah. I think I'll be trying that next week.
So where we're going to finish on this sort of final segment.
So I want to talk about phones, teens, and addiction. So should the UK ban them? Because in the news at the moment, there's a lot of schools that are completely banning phones. I think they're becoming quite a distraction in the schools. Teen mental health is failing. Attention spans are shrinking. Paul, obviously, I know you do a lot of work on kind of tech and AI and how smartphones are a distraction. As I say, schools are banning phones. Parents are worried. Politicians are being pushed to act. Supporters say restrictions protect children. Critics say bans miss the point. So we were asking, should the UK step in, or is this a parenting and education issue? And I'd probably throw it to you two, because you both have kids. Paul, plenty of kids and grandkids. So
yes.
You're well educated on this. I just have a dog who doesn't have a phone, so it's all over to you.
Yeah, I think we've talked about it a lot in the past, but we give kids supercomputers and then we're astounded when they're glued to them. And I think it all comes back to what was talking about in our last segment, education. Education. I don't mean just education for children. I think it's education for the parents, because they grow up, they get to a certain age, and then they get a digital device plonked in the hands and they're away.
Yeah.
And sometimes, and I'm not saying all the time, the kids are quiet. They're doing this, they're doing that, they're playing on the game, right? I'm at a certain age now where my children, when they was growing up, there wasn't a lot of digital devices out. There was games, but I used to not mind my children playing on the games in winter when the weather was rubbish. But when it was summer, they was out.
Yeah.
Right? We was playing football, rugby.
You don't see as many groups of kids on the street these days that I don't know, aren't up to no good kind of thing.
Yeah, and like I say, I feel sorry for them kids sometimes, because when I was growing up and when my kids was growing up, there was youth clubs and there was places for children to go. You don't get many of them now, and it's all down to cost and funding, and you go down another route there. But I just think, as well as children getting educated in phones, parents need educating as well before they hand them over.
So before you go on, Leon, I'm hiding my notes. They're in front of me. How many hours a day do you think UK teens spend on their screens?
6 hours.
Oh yeah, good guess. 4 to 7.
Yeah,
bang in the middle. So 4 to 7 hours a day, kids are spending on the phone on average.
The only reason I know that, Sam, I used to talk when we first started the Man Club back in the day, and I used to say is social media killing us. Do you remember the talk I used to do? And back then it was 5.5 hours.
That's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
What you could do in 5.5 hours.
And it's only going to get worse. But I think for me, and this is why I always come back to, we're talking about AI and all these other bits, but I always talk about tech being a tool. I can see you nodding on this. And I'm really passionate around that. But again, it's weird that I only posted about this yesterday, and I'm showing you a visual, and we'll try and edit the visual into this. The government brought out some new safety standards for AI systems, and just as we look at this on screen, when you look at it, the big piece is about what's the purpose of that technology, and also they want it to sort of filter. And what I mean by that is, what's the state purpose of this technology, and how is it going to be used with kids, right?
It's supposed to be entertainment, initially, in terms of distraction.
Yeah, but I think that this is one of the big problems. One of the massive problems I have is, AI's been on for years, algorithms. Many of our children's best friends are algorithms.
We've
just stop and think about that. I've spoken about that, previously. It's said now that your Instagram, your TikToks, your different social media platforms, your YouTube, know if you know the sexual orientation or preference of your child before they do, by what they're watching and what they're
they're
swiping.
using the data of understanding what they're engaging with.
We don't know what they're doing.
Sometimes I say they know the kids better than you.
Yeah, so you got to look at that. So one of the big things that we're talking about now is filtering and making sure it is filtered. I think Australia's been one of the first governments to actually start blocking social media for children. But I just think where I'm sort of struggling at the moment is there is a big education piece. But one of the big challenges we've got, and this is what we are seeing at the moment. So, for example, you mentioned that you use AI to help you write processes, help you write scripts for your videos, all different ways. But there's human oversight, isn't there? One of the challenges, what they're arguing back now, is that some of these systems that need to actually guide someone through writing, so don't you lose them skills. And again, also making sure that there's sort of no cheating. So when it's giving you feedback, it's asking for what we call progressive hints. So it's forcing your brain to actually engage and work with it. But I think we're in this new sort of area now because they're also asking these systems to sort of look for patterns, what people are writing. Are they actually in distress? So I just think we're in a whole new world because they're saying that they don't want to use this technology to manipulate us, but I think this technology has been used for a long time to manipulate us. You don't have to go look at Cambridge Analytica and go down that rabbit hole. And if you've not seen it, do a YouTube search on it. This is the big problem in this sort of state where we've got this mass data and what we're doing. But I think it's really, really simple what we need to do. But just because it's simple, by no means it's simplistic.
In terms of controlling kids' engagement with phones.
I think we've got to get them out doing stuff more, being resilient. We're big into sport, aren't we?
Yeah.
My own son's going for adversity at the minute with sport, and we've moved him teams, and that's good because it's good to change. And it's been tough watching him, bless him. But I know it'll be the best thing that he ever does. But when you're in it at the time, and you've been playing rugby since you've been 3-4 years old at the same club, it's tough. And talking, you come and nicked a lot of us, didn't you? At that
Certainly
age,
did, yeah.
You moved us from Westall to Northern back in the day. And I'm still friends with all them lads now, Yeah. So I think we have to really redefine what it is to be a human. I don't think this is a tech problem at all.
I think as well, like there is an argument that I've seen in the news this week where do we delay smartphone until the age of at least 14? I know a lot of social media have banned any access until a certain age, ID verification, all that now. I disagree that banning phones to 14 because you have to learn technology like it is here. And we do rely on it every day for communication. We can't get away from it. It's part of everyday life. It just needs to be in moderation.
I think there's two sides to it in this, because we're at different ages, me and you, aren't we? And it's really interesting because I used to see all the data when I was on the Suicide Prevention Task and Finish Board. The impact that social media can have on young brains is staggering when you see that data. So, like in my own household, I was really strict on letting my kids have access to mobile devices. Evie, and Evie, she's wise beyond her years, isn't she, Evie? She really challenged me because I only let her have Snapchat. And the only reason I let her have it in the end, and I mean, it was a wrestle with me and her mum and Evie, is that she was getting left out of groups. And I didn't realise until...
Can't fight that.
Yeah, I didn't realise until I saw the impact that they don't speak on WhatsApp anymore. They do Snapchat groups. And I was the dad going, I've seen the data and you're not having it either. You're just not having it. And I was really digging in. But then when I realised she was getting social exclusion, I thought, well, how can I be proactive? And one of my main things when I saw the data on these devices, a lot of children are growing up with body dysmorphia, because of the filters and the way they look. So I had a big education piece around, I'm going to give you access, I'm going to trust you, but me and you need to have open comms. If you're going to be using these AI tools to manipulate your face, I ever hear you say you don't think you're beautiful, your tech's going to be gone. So I had to have put boundaries in. Education piece again, yeah.
But I think what you did, Leon, because obviously I know...
I'm in the tech game, though, so it's easy for me.
You're in the tech game, so you had education and you put boundaries in place before you handed that phone over.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some parents don't because they haven't had that education.
Yeah, they've got the skill set, haven't they? And I think...
Yeah. But I think the parents been educated more than the kids.
Yeah, that's what we're getting at. I think it's parents and teachers.
I think it's a team sport.
Yeah,
it's like everything. Because you think about it now, and we are going to have to wrap, and we'll carry this over. Technology is advancing quicker than us humans. So we have to put boundaries in. It's like when the first motor car came out, we didn't have traffic lights, we didn't have seatbelts. right? And we started, things started to go bad, and we had to legislate afterwards and change. So for me, I think it's a full education piece. But we are going to have to wrap on that and move on to the next one. But any sort of closing points?
No, I think it's been really great this week, and I think we've touched on some topics that we could go over and over again and much longer. So I've really enjoyed it.
But we'll come back after this, and we'll wrap up in a second. So we're back. So what we're wrapping up on, what's been your one big take home? And I'll go first to give you guys a little bit of time to think. I think what struck me again, and I love doing these shows, is it's that education piece. I think I'm even more empowered to educate more. I think we need to do more. It'll be interesting to see what schools think. I'm going to make a few phone calls, I think, this week, because it is a team sport. I think we're all trying to think that someone's going to come, a big power that be's going to help us solve it. But I think we all play a part. Sam?
Yeah, I guess those of us joining in. We're on the hack takeover, and we've gone through all sorts of kind of AI and how it's integrating with everyday life. And the last piece we just spoke about then was, do we ban kids using technology, give them limited access to the phones? I don't have kids, but it's quite interesting to hear both of your takes on that, especially the part where it's not educating the kids, it's educating the parents to educate the kids. So how to use AI and tech responsibly, because like I said earlier, 4 to 7 hours a day UK teens are spending on average on screens.
Wild. That's wild.
Yeah. Back to education, I'm passionate about this subject, and I think it's something that, like you say, it's a team sport. I think more and more people listen to this, and we'll give them some more education over the weeks.
Yeah, I was going to say in Leon's rap, you'll say it in a minute, but you do say stay sharp, stay curious. And I think that curious element of tech and AI is really important. Don't get left behind in terms of using it, but don't get left behind in terms of education.
No, exactly that. And I think I will wrap us up in a second. I think just main closing points is it's been ace to get us back out on video.
Yep.
Great work,
we're
Sam.
on video today, first time.
Sam, thanks for helping us make that work. And if you are tuning into the radio, you can find us on their YouTube channels, and we'll be posting this everywhere. But for me, just to wrap up this sort of hack takeover, between now and next time, I want everyone to sort of stay sharp. I want everyone to stay curious. But remember, it's the people who shape the future, not the machines. So that's Leon checking out.
Sam checking out.
Paul checking out.